Alright, welcome back everybody. We're going to do a pod review today on this pepper right here, and this is called the Aji Challuaruro. Alright, welcome back everybody. We are going to do a pod review today on a pepper over here. And one of these should be ready. I know it's the yellow one I want to do. So, unfortunately, I can't bend down. I can probably reach down. I could try. I have a bad back today. Let's see here. We're going to do a pod review on this thing called the Aji Challuaruro. That's what we're going to do a pod review on, guys. And there's a ripe one here. Now, I've been waiting a while for these to totally ripen, and I'm assuming this is what they are when they're fully ripened. So they're going to be yellow. I guess they don't get any more yellow than that, maybe slightly orange. Let's get you into some better light. We can actually take a look at this. Not sure how well you can see that. Get you in here. This is usually the best area. That's why I always come to this section, because the lighting in here seems to be the best. Again, I can't. We're at a funny angle. How's that? See, it's kind of flat. Okay. So that's it right there. So let's turn you around and give that bad boy a go. Alright, welcome back everybody. We're going to do a pod review today on this pepper right here, and this is called the Aji Challuaruro, however you say something like that. But that's it right there. That is a nice baccatum. You can see it's got a nice, they're quite large in shape. It's definitely a baccatum. You could tell. You got that long stem. And, and so, yeah, you could tell that they got that nice long stem on it. So, without any further ado, guys, let's give that a go. Ooh, that's baccatum flavor. Stronger baccatum. A little heat on this too, guys. For a baccatum, heat came straight out. It's kind of a moist pepper, should I say. It's not exactly a dry pepper. It's a little bit on the moist side. But the flavor of it is a baccatum flavor, but it's a little bit different than your typical baccatum. It does have a weird kind of undertone, but very lightly. And the flavor kind of comes and goes, but it has a pretty prominent baccatum flavor. It's not a light flavored baccatum pepper. This thing's, if you were to like compare it to something, like, you know, the fruitiness of a habanero, how fruity that thing is when you eat it. It's kind of like that, but with baccatum flavor. It's pretty strong. It's pretty prominent flavor. It's not something just kind of hanging around in the back. Here, we'll take another bite. Very nice flavor. Very nice. It's definitely pronounced, though. So, use this pepper wisely and in quantity, as well as the type of... I usually add my baccatums to beans, and I'll add like chili powder, beans, garlic. I add a little bit of parsley to that, and then what else do I add to that? A little bit of hot sauce I add in there, but then I chop up a bunch of these baccatums and I mix them with those beans. Take a slice of cheese, put it across the top of that really hot bean curd that you just made. Not curd, but it's like a really hot bean. And then I kind of scoop, and I use like a tortilla chip, and you scoop that in there and you kind of eat it like a salsa. It's really good, guys. I really like eating that. Definitely when you add that cheddar cheese, you got to add the extra sharp cheddar too. Really, really, really makes that a real nice, you know. And then of course, if you really wanted to, you can buy those tortilla chips. I know I'm digressing, but you can buy those tortilla chips that look like a little cup. Put a little bit of that bean mix in there with the cheese on top of it, and then you can put a little bit of chopped tomato and lettuce on top of that, maybe a little cilantro. It's really good, but I like to use these baccatum peppers for those kind of dishes. Now let's get into the heat. The heat's not incredibly hot, but it was striking and intense right out the beginning. As soon as I ate that thing, the heat came right out of this pepper. It was not a light-hearted pepper. This thing definitely started pumping out some heat. So it's not a light-hearted pepper. Now, as far as Scoville units go on this thing, again, this is just a guesstimate. I'm just trying to give you a guideline as to how intense the heat is. It's pretty intense for a baccatum. It's up there. I would definitely say this is probably between 8 and 15,000, something like that. Somewhere around there. It's not very, very hot. I would imagine it could probably get to 15,000. This particular one wasn't 15,000. My guesstimate range is probably somewhere in there. And for bacatums, that's pretty high. Generally, bacatums, the ones that I grow, they don't normally get too hot. Certain ones do, but a lot of the other ones, they don't really go too much higher than that. There are a few that do go higher, but in general, a baccatum burn is a very smooth, glowing type of burn. So it's a smooth, glowing type of burn in a baccatum burn for 10,000 Scovilles would be, maybe equivalent to like a 20,000 Scoville annuum or chinense. I keep saying chinense. It's somewhere in that range. So it's like that. It's different. It's just a different type of burn. If you get a baccatum that's burning really hard, that's a very intense burn for a baccatum. You know you got a hot one. That in the chinense world would be. Keep correcting myself. People keep correcting me. That would probably be like 100,000. You know, what I mean, it's just a type of burn that baccatum is. All right. So how is it affecting my mouth? It's just burning the whole top of the tongue. Really, it's burning the roof of my mouth, a little bit below around the gums and the teeth where I chewed it, a little bit on the lips, a little bit in the back of the throat. It was warm going down, but it's not warm anymore. And the intensity of the burn is really concentrated on the top of the tongue area. Really, that's about it. Really, I mean, it wasn't like overwhelming or anything like that. But for a baccatum, it was pretty strong. It was definitely up there, and the flavor was very strong. It was like, it's like, for example, I'm trying to give you a good analogy here. So like when you eat regular habaneros. The peach habaneros tend to be lighter in spiciness. When I say spiciness, I'm talking about the intensity of the flavor that keeps wanting to come back up on you. But that's what I'm really referring to. I'm not referring to the heat. So I'm talking about how long does that flavor stick around, the intensity of it, really. Generally with peach type of habaneros, they're usually not that intense. They're pretty light. You can eat them straight off the plant. The heat ain't too high. They're not bad at all, really. And then when you start getting into other types of habaneros, Caribbean red habanero, the Savina habanero, you start getting into these higher end those red habaneros. Oh, those are nasty hot, dude. Those are very, very nasty hot. And along with that is the intensity of that spiciness. That flavor really couples along with it. So, for example, fatales are like in the they're like in that family of habaneros. They're not exactly a habanero, but they're in that family of it. They have a very intense flavor like that. So it would be like, to compare this with that type of analogy, just so you understand, it would be like comparing, a peach type habanero, low spiciness, low flavor, compared to a Savina or a Caribbean red habanero, which the flavors are much, much stronger and they're much more intense. And so this would be more like in the Savina range, like if you want to compare it, like rather than a lot of the other bacatums that are light, like the starfishes are generally light, and I think the aji Peruvian's pretty light. There's a number of them. The aji, what's that, Malacatin? Then there's the aji Bolivian. All those are good, but they're lighter in heat. They're not like this. Was intense, straight out intense and strong. And strong in heat and strong in flavor, both ways. So it's a nice pepper, actually. It's got me belching too. It's so when it makes me belch, that means usually there's some heat on that thing, and so my body, gasses it off that way. That's how your body deals with it. But yeah, it's a good pepper, guys. I'm definitely going to be bringing this one in for the winter. I'm going to let it winter over, and then we're going to put it outside next year, plant it in the ground, and then we'll see what it could do outdoors. Hopefully it doesn't go through too much shock, and it'll really pump those peppers out is really what we want to see, because these baccatums can really put out a ton of peppers. So what I'll do is I'll put whatever information I have on this pepper, or I can scrounge up on the internet. I will put that in the description below, and I will also leave a link below where you can go visit the website and you can purchase the seeds if you want to give this a grow for yourself. So that's really it, guys. That was your pod review for the Aji Challuaruro. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Take care.